So are you happy? Are you happy
Briefly,
now?
I suppose. Should I be?
But why haven't you already talked about it?
About
Franco
what?
Colapinto ignored team orders and pulled off a sensational
God.
overtake. And why have you
What?
not talked? We are 10 minutes in the pod and 10 seconds in the pod and you've still not done that.
Well,
What's
it's
wrong with you?
because
And you're supposed to be a Franco Colapinto
well,
fan.
it's just look, I don't need to talk about it because it's just he's going to be around for generations now, and it's going to be
Yes.
interesting to see when he inevitably beats Max Verstappen to a title in a few years. I mean,
Next year.
yeah,
Sure.
easily, yeah, because Alpine's going to be the top of the field next year. Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't need to be. He'll drive the car Flintstone style, just like Max does with the
Just
Red
like
Bull
Max pushes air out of the way.
Welcome to the blatantly biased racing podcast. Now here's a bald guy and some Indian.
Welcome everybody to the Blatantly Biased Racing Podcast.
And first of all, thank you for tuning in. Secondly, apologies for the delay. For the Indians in our community, belated Happy Diwali, and for Punjabis, Happy Bandi Chhod Divas. Let's move on. Let's talk about the American Grand Prix. What is it called? The US.
The United
in
States
Austin.
Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yep. The
How was the
Freedom
race, by
Grand
the way?
Prix.
Have fun.
Honestly, I think there was parts of it that were good, but I genuinely, for the most part, it was a relatively dull race. I thought there was
I
just
think we have to thank Pirelli for being the geniuses to bring out a hard tire that was completely irrelevant.
the hard tire might have been a wet tire.
Yeah.
It might as well have been it was
They
pointless.
took us back to what, 2013 or 2014 or 15, when we used to have two compounds, because we basically had two compounds.
Well, I said this before the weekend. They should have gone C6, C4, C1. Like, just go C6, C4, C1. So you have to go. You have to either go super soft and like one out the tires, or super hard and like be slow as fuck. Like, just don't stop giving them options. Just give them C6, C4, or C6, C3, C1. Done. Problem solved.
What were one of the better races this season? Imola. And Imola had what, 2 or 3 stops.
Yeah.
We need to bring back 2 to 3 stops in Formula One. We need to make Formula One great again.
Well, look, luckily next year there'll be cars that are so dominant they'll just fly by everyone. We'll get lots of overtakes. It'll be fine.
Yes, I mean that's what everyone wants, isn't it?
Well, they do, as long as one of their drivers is driving that car.
Yeah.
Like if Oscar Piastri for some reason leaves at the end of the year and or Lando Norris has a fucking dominant car next year, you can guarantee most people will not be happy about it.
Only the ones that have. There will be people who would be happy. Only the ones that are yet to hit the puberty.
Yeah, yeah.
Which most of the Lando fans.
Some of them will turn 17 or 18 next year. Yeah.
Let's hope.
So are we kicking off with the title fight? That's now a proper title fight.
It is. I think I've probably been shouting the horn for a while now, but I think a lot of people are now getting on board.
I did say a couple of weeks back, I want to see how they go at the Austin Grand Prix specifically. I'm on board
and now you have.
Yeah. The Red Bull was either quickest here or at the very least was close. Like in qualifying trim, I think it was the quickest. In race trim, I think unfortunately we didn't really see what the McLaren's could do but regardless, it was so close between the two.
It was the best package. That's one way to put it, because once you nail the qualifying, the start is going to be somewhat easier because of the way at least this time around, it seemed that the dirty side was a bit less grippy. Last few years, it has not been that big a factor. This time it was. And that seemed to play a bit of a role. And once Max got into the lead, as I predicted, funnily my prediction worked. Once he got into the lead, it was all about managing, and it was pretty much, what should we call it? A Sunday drive? That's what it was.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, before we get into anything else, I think for all F1 fans that are watching, be it Max Verstappen fans, Lando Norris, or Oscar Piastri, whoever, just know one thing. What we are witnessing right now, it's probably one of the better seasons in Formula One when it comes to one of the best comebacks we're going to see in the championship. If it ultimately happens, which I think it might. But if that is happening, I think leave the fandom aside. Just enjoy. Last 5 races, enjoy, because it's going to be I'm not sure how it's going to be on track, but the narratives are going to be brilliant. So have a moment of, as Lewis says, gratitude.
Yes, much gratitude.
Much gratitude. I think when we talk about something like this, the first thing that actually comes to mind is we need to give Pierre Vacher a lot of credit, which again people are not doing.
No. It's all Mekies. It was all Horner's fault. Everything's fixed now. Mekies has turned the team around.
Exactly. But even if we leave that aside, I think the whole technical unit, I think it deserves a lot of credit because the car it's good everywhere now. We don't really have to sit and think about that there are going to be particular races where it might suffer, because the Red Bull was faster in both S1 and S3, and they are high downforce segments.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything about what's coming up in the next
I think the thing was, like, this goes right back to Miami last year, where everyone just kept saying, like, oh, Red Bull shit the bed. And it's like, it wasn't the case, because it wasn't like the Red Bull completely changed from one weekend to the next. The simple fact is, McLaren showed up with a package that unearthed some of the problems that were already there with the Red Bull, and that they could mask because they were so far ahead of everyone else. So when McLaren caught up and then Ferrari caught up over the course of the season, it exposed those things. And it took Red Bull a long time to basically figure out a way to adapt their car to be able to still unlock that pace and keep the window open and all these things. And they did a lot of that work over the winter. McLaren clearly were able to take a step, but it's not like Red Bull after the winter were a million miles away from McLaren. They were still challenging at races, all of these things. So everyone immediately just jumps to conclusions with these things. And then clearly they've kind of figured that out over time and been working on this for a while. And finally they've got there just in the nick of time. And if they had I'm sorry to everyone for saying this, because I know sometimes my channel gets called the Horner fan podcast, but we would be in this exact same fucking place if Horner was still there. The only difference would be Jos and Marco would still be shouting to the press. There'd be no other difference. Like, that's it. So this whole change of approach, show me what change of approach. I don't get. The only difference is people aren't shouting anymore, and Vacher's been told, you're staying for a while. Don't worry about it. That's it. Like, that's the only difference.
Look, more or less, I agree with you, because I think I've had a similar view of the whole situation. I do think there's one thing where maybe we need to keep an eye on, and that thing is, does Horner leaving make Max a bit more comfortable at Red Bull?
Probably.
Yeah. Because if that has played a role...
Because his dad's not shouting constantly, so it helps.
Exactly. And if that has played a role, and if he's more happy at Red Bull right now, maybe that also helped him maybe raise his level a bit, because he was a bit error prone at the start of the season. I mean, the mid season there were a few races where he could have probably done better. He didn't. And right now, if Horner leaving puts Red Bull in a situation where Max can win the championship, I don't know, I think in the long term, Red Bull is in for a lot of trouble because of the way they've managed things. But at least for now, for 2025, in the very short term, maybe they might benefit. Maybe they have the new Max.
I mean, the thing is, like, I've been talking to a few people, and like some people I know, like around Red Bull and whatever, and again, it just what I'm hearing constantly is like nothing has really changed as much as just what you said, which is the atmosphere is a bit less tense. That's it. Like, a lot less tense. Let's put it that way. But that's like, that's not an approach change. That's just one side won.
They didn't like Horner. They wanted him out, and now he's out, and now they're happy.
Yeah, like, it's basically just the one side that kept shouting about Horner has stopped shouting about Horner. So everything's a little bit less tense. And like, the thing is, all of these changes to the technical regulations, to the technical side of the team, like all these updates they brought, these were already in the pipeline. So, and then, I don't know, I think Mekies, and I want to point this out, I think Mekies has done a brilliant job. Like, I think he's been really good so far.
Yeah.
But he hasn't changed anything yet.
This isn't Mekies' team.
Yeah, like, he just hasn't changed anything yet. He's kept everything held together, and I think he's done a good job at that. But also, Horner was doing the exact same job, except he also had to deal with the board shouting and like stuff in newspapers and everything all the time. Mekies doesn't have to deal with that. So if they had it backed off and just let Horner run things, we'd be in the exact same situation. That's my whole thing on it. Like, exactly. I just find it funny that we're like, I'm seeing on X now, everyone going, oh, like, look at this. They've turned the team around. It's like, no, they haven't. They've just stopped shouting. That's it. That's all that's happened here.
So on Friday, there was this article that I call them the Verstappen Times, but the Telegraph.
Yeah.
They put out an article. It was not an article. It's basically a report from Eric Van Haren, very detailed how Horner was fired and how him being removed, it has been transformational, etc., etc. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was bravo, Max, for the way how you manage the media narrative. Because at no point is it mentioned that the upgrades that have been brought, they have played a role. The entire thing was Lauren Mekies has been transformational. Max has been brilliant. He has introduced a new approach, etc., etc. And the second thing that came to my mind was, George, you need to learn from this.
Well, it's just the constant thing we're hearing as well is like the team is now like taking bigger risks. I'm just like, I keep hearing that and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is Red Bull. Like, they've always taken huge risks. That's been part of their DNA. Like, everything about this team is in the DNA. The real thing is, look, we should probably talk about Max instead, because that's the bigger story and we'll get to that. But like the thing for me is just, I give Mekies a lot of credit because I think he's come into a really tricky situation and he's managed to handle it and kept everything calm and so on. But again, that's easier to do when the people who are shouting are behind you. Like, if those people had been behind Horner and calmed it down, all of those allegations and everything, people wouldn't be talking about them. They would have just continued on. And 2024 and this season would have gone exactly as they're going. Like, nothing was changed. The real thing about Mekies is going to be for at the end of 2026, if they, especially if the engine project isn't where it's supposed to be and they show up with a difficult situation, by the end of 2026, when Verstappen's gone and the team is in disarray.
If Verstappen is gone, because, this is where the whole thing is going to come down to. If Mekies cannot keep Verstappen, the Red Bull post-Verstappen era, how it is going to be, and if that team, the way that team behaves or reacts, that's going to define what Lauren Mekies as a team principal is. Yeah.
So that's my point. Like, by the end of next season, even like if he can keep Max next year, like if they like that show up and exactly. But like the question is as well, like, how good is the car by the time they show up? Because if they show up with an absolutely dominant car, that makes life easier for Mekies as well. But the real test for Mekies for me is going to be when the shit starts to hit the fan, when things start to go really wrong, and it's all now on him. How does he handle that? Because that's the situations where Horner and Toto, like, that's where great team principles are made. And Toto, we still need to see, like, is he able to turn things around? Yep. Like, Horner did. The shit hit the fan for Horner, and he kept everything together. He kept Newey. He kept all these big names around for so long. Can Mekies do that? I don't know. Like, that's so. I just, it goes back to what I said. Like, people have a 2-race memory in Formula One.
Exactly.
But speaking of 4-race memories,
by the way.
Max, 100 points.
He was 104 points behind Oscar by the end of the race in Zandvoort. In the last 4 races, he's slashed the lead
64 points.
Yeah, he slashed it by 64 points, and now we are looking at a 40-point deficit.
Yeah.
Is he the favorite?
Yeah, like, absolutely. There you go. Like, there's no...
End of discussion. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah. And hey, it turns out Max fans were right? Because they said if Max had the fastest car last year, the McLaren last year, he would have walked the championship. Turns out he would have. So bravo. Well done. Yeah.
I think what's going to happen now is we are looking at Max basically at the 2023 level, where he knows he's got the car. He knows he has to deliver. He knows his team doesn't make any errors. The setup is found. The sweet spot is there. And he just comes in and delivers again and again and again. And no errors. The starts are perfect. Everything is perfect. Even when George had a lunge in the sprint, he was he was quick enough to know that, okay, let's just
the forced off thing was funny as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's Max.
They're playing the
We've
game.
seen it
Both
before,
of them
right?
played that. Both of them played the game
Yeah.
beautifully. Like, yeah.
Exactly. And
Anyone
it's
annoyed by that's a moron. Like people getting annoyed by that. It's
Yeah.
like, go away.
It's just Max, to be honest, because this is, as I said, this is precisely why I keep saying he's the best driver since Michael Schumacher, because even if you don't give him the car, he tends to deliver as good as possible whatever the car is capable of. You've given him a car that's capable of winning, he's going to win. He's not going to miss. And he's not missing. And that's the problem for everyone, basically for the people that are driving for the orange car right now, because their entire legacy is at stake. Both Lando and Oscar, they cannot afford to lose this championship because of how good the McLaren was in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, this is the problem they face as well. Like, so Max, the thing is, as I always say, and people always take it as an offense, is like the car is 90% of the driving. This, more proof of it again. But this is why Max deserves credit, not because of winning every race, because if you give Max a fast car, he won't leave an inch. That's why he's brilliant. That's what makes him one of the greats, like one of the top greats of all time. And this is going to really fucking cement that if he wins this championship. But that's where Max is brilliant, and that's the thing why he's favourite for me now, which is because for the last 4 races we've had very different tracks, and even at Singapore when they didn't win, the car was still very, very fast, right? So you know that if Max now has that car for the next 5 races, he's at least going to finish second, but he's likely going to win every race. Whereas Norris and Piastri seem to be kind of making mistakes, falling over each other a little bit, you know, and also the car doesn't seem as easy to drive and as quick as it used to be. It very much seems like maybe the inverse has happened. Like maybe Red Bull has pushed up again and it's forced McLaren now into a tighter window than they were hoping. Maybe it's the reverse of what happened to Red Bull.
McLaren stopped developing the car much earlier
because they assumed it was locked in. And Red Bull's still bringing upgrades.
Developing the car.
They're bringing upgrades to...
I think it's in 2 to 3 races time. So basically...
I think it might be Vegas or something. Brazil or Vegas.
Or Brazil, something,
yeah.
Whichever
Which
is there.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It's hilarious right now, but if Max doesn't win the championship this season, and this has pushed their basically the development of the 2026 car... it won't be hilarious next season then.
That's going to be... Everyone keeps saying the rebuttal is like, oh, well, it'll ruin 2026. And I see a lot of fans being like, oh, well, people said that in 2021. Yes, but the difference is in 2021, you had a delayed set of regulations. So they already kind of had the car relatively built for 2021 anyway. On top of that, you had Newey running the 2022 car development while you had Vache and Balbo working directly on the 2021 car.
But
so you had split silos.
Did not push this deep into the season, right?
They pushed pretty far. Maybe not as far, but
two races from the end of the season.
Yeah, no, not that far, but like 4 or 5 races from the end, they were still kind of doing stuff to the car.
Because if I'm not wrong, I think which race Lewis went on 4 or 5 race win streak, or what was it in the end?
Yeah, it
after
was 5 race, I think, right? Basically. Yeah.
I think after Austin or something, Red Bull didn't bring any. So that's basically they skipped on the last quarter roughly.
Yeah,
that's what they skipped on, and this time they're not even doing that.
No, and the only thing is as well is like maybe they will come good in 2026 just because, like I said last week or last time, like Newey had a lot of input on their 2026 car before he left. Like everyone knew what the rough regulations would be. So
2026 car, I don't know. I don't know how much he was willing to even.
Well, I mean, they knew roughly what the cars were going to be. The problem that they're going to have is if he sent them down one path and said, right, this is what is the big thing you need to focus. Like he said with the suspension for 2022, he was like, that's the key. If he sent them on that path, right, and then left at 2024, and when the final regulations came in, it turns out there was things that could fuck up that path. Yeah. They could really be screwed there because they'll keep going down that path and Newey will know what the issues are now and they won't. So, and it won't be their thinking from the outset, which could be even more dangerous. You know what I mean? because you're basically going on someone else's idea without understanding why they're going down that path. You know.
Plus, also 2022 was ground effects, which was basically right up New Year's ally.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not this is because I actually was talking to someone and they said that okay, fine, they're active aerodynamics, but we didn't have this in 1992, 93.
No,
that was active suspension.
He has
an
worked
entirely
in
different thing.
Sure, yeah, but he has worked with some active stuff. But like anyway, it's getting way off topic. The point is just Red Bull could be okay because of that, but this could very much definitely affect them for next year because it's a very different situation. But anyway, sorry, we keep going off on this tangent. But yeah, I think Max is by far the favorite. There's 5 races left to go. He needs
5
to
races
win.
left, 40 points. There are 2
he
sprints
needs 8
as well,
points a weekend. So
which is easy, honestly easy. That's
look, if Max loses this, to be honest, I'll lose a lot of faith in him. I'm turning the shoe is on the other table, which has turned now. So if Max loses this championship, that's it, lads. Come on. He should easily win this now. You said Norris should easily win this. Max should easily win this now.
He should. And
he will.
What are the races, by the way? Which there's
Mexico.
Vegas. Yeah.
So we got Mexico, Vegas, Brazil, Qatar, Abu Dhabi.
The iffy one is going to be Mexico and Brazil, because Brazil has the long corners where McLaren tends to do well.
But McLaren should have been like McLaren should have at least been like properly on top of Max for the last few races. They've been all over the place. Like Ferrari and Mercedes have been beating them. Like something's happened at McLaren. Something's gone wrong with that car.
Could be. Maybe just the spare parts. I don't know. I really don't know.
By spare parts, you mean the drivers or?
No. In terms of, because when you come to the end of the season, you keep using the same parts and the wear and tear, it tends to reduce the performance. I'm just spitballing. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, maybe because they knew they had the constructors locked in. They did just give up on development completely. And
honestly, it made sense as well. I didn't expect any team to make up this much of a gap. Right.
You think they would have, right? You think they would have looked at BMW in 2008 and been like, let's not make some similar mistakes here. Like, I know it's a very different situation, but like, you don't give up on a title you have in your hands.
Yeah, but after the summer break, could you have made even a wild prediction that Max would be in the championship fight?
No, but I mean, at the same time, it's Red Bull and Max. You don't give up on that, you know? Like, I think until it's mathematically impossible, you kind of go, let's keep one eye on
100 points ahead.
True, true. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the big elephant in the room, because what the fuck has happened? What the fuck is going on with Oscar? Because the way he's dropped the ball in the last 4 races, it's horrible. Horrible.
Now you said something that conspiracy theorists are going to be thinking about watching this podcast, because you said it a few weeks ago, right? When everyone was banging on about how the team favored Lando, and we were like, no, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
You said, and you rightly said, if a team wanted to favor Lando, they would do it in ways where all of a sudden the other driver would just look like they're nowhere.
Oh, God. Okay,
do you remember that statement?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Oscar looks... Yep. They've just tweaked the car so Lando's faster.
Yeah, it's just the British bias. They just sat down at Woking and just tilted the balance towards Lando.
Just switch it.
Just a little.
Just a tweak.
But since Zandvoort, I think he's been... It's not just that he's been slow. He's been uncompetitive. For some reason, which is very hard to understand. He was... Again, in qualifying, he out-qualified Lando in Singapore. Mm-hmm. But once Lando got the jump, Oscar didn't have the pace to keep up.
No. And he also... I think the bigger concern is not even the pace, because I think Lando, we've always agreed, like people diss this, but Lando has always been, I think, the marginally faster car driver. He just bottles all the time or gives into pressure. I think the bigger issue has been Oscar has given into pressure the last few races. Like he's visibly seems... Well, not visibly, but he sounds stressed on radios, the way he's driving. Yeah. Like he's not as aggressive as he was before. I wonder, did he get too into the mode of like, okay, I'm so far ahead now, I just need to kind of...
Buckle down.
Yeah,
basically.
just basically, I just need to not make mistakes and not go too aggressive because I could throw the win away just having a DNF, and he's gone too far in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe Lando has gone the opposite way because Lando is like, well, the title's off unless I get aggressive, so I'm just going to go aggressive. You know,
It's so weird because right now the situation where we are in, he fucked up big time in Baku. The crash, that's 25 points just straight went to straight went to Max. Then you had the whole thing with in sprint. My first reaction was that it was a racing incident, but if you look back at it,
if you have to crash into your teammate to avoid another driver,
you're doing a pretty shit job. Said the great Australian Oscar Piastri.
yeah,
I don't know what's it's just, and I think I wrote about the whole thing that in Formula One, a lot of these things are about momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar had the momentum at the start of the season when he was just rattling off wins again and again. I think he had a four race win streak or something. That was the time when Oscar looked he looked unbeatable to a large extent.
Yeah.
While Lando was flailing around, just struggling to keep things together.
There was a point in the season where I thought, like, and again, this goes back to the problem, isn't it, of like this 2 or 4 race memory of F1 fans. So like in 4 races, we'll be like, of course Max wasn't going to win the championship. You were crazy. But yeah, there was a point during the season where I thought like Oscar has got the pace now and is aggressive enough that if it's him one-on-one with Max, I think he'll give Max a run for his money. And over the last 4 races, I've been like, I don't know if Oscar can beat Lando. Like, what's happened?
He hasn't,
here? You know, like
he's had, I think, roughly 2 to 3 tenths of a deficit to Lando, and Lando seems to not have the fastest car under him anymore. And once you couple all of this, you see the result is basically what happened in Austin. You have Max winning, you have Lando second, you have Oscar in 4th or 5th, whatever, and that's not good enough. That's not how you win championships. That's how you lose.
Yeah.
And he's going through, again, he's been considered an Iceman and everything, some of these monikers. And again, when he talks to the media, he seems pretty chilled out. He doesn't look like Lando looks, where everything is right. It's written on his face. It's not the case with Oscar. But the actions are of a driver who's under pressure, and who's not only under pressure because the car is somehow slower or he's not comfortable. He also knows that there's this 4-time world champion with a brilliant car now just eating into his lead.
Yeah.
And the next 5 races, I think if McLaren loses the drivers' championship this season, I think one of the 2 drivers is not going to be in the car in 2027. I think next season, McLaren, in the very first race, it goes shopping, either picks George or Charles or whoever. They are going to change. The changes are needed. It's time for hard talks, because if you can't win the championship with this kind of an advantage, then it's on the drivers. They've given them everything.
Yeah. Because the unfortunate thing for the drivers, though, to give them a little bit of an easier time, is the unfortunate thing is they have got themselves into a 2007 situation too, where the 2 drivers have just been taking points off each other. But one of them should have been able to take the advantage of this, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see in a few races. Then again, it could turn. I mean, we could get to Qatar and, you know, Max has had a DNF or a race in Mexico, and it just, you know.
Because Mexico is one race where there will be a bit of a question mark on Red Bull because of the whole aggressive curbs thing. But if somehow Max is the fastest in Mexico, just shut shop. That's it. It's over.
Yeah. I mean, it could just, but like I said, it could go the other way. Like the Honda engine could fucking blow in Mexico and Piastri wins. You know,
the 2006 flashbacks. That's what comes to my mind.
Like that's how quick things change, right? Because like Piastri could win, and then you're down to 4 races with a 65-point advantage, and all of a sudden again, it's
all
tough now. You know, like it's tough now again. So it's just this season has been crazy, and like we counted Lando kind of almost out a couple of races ago, and now he's 14 points. Yeah, and now he's 14 points closer. I will say, anyone who's complained about this championship, I think it's been quite good. Like, we're in a situation now where we're back to a three-person fight.
Three-way championship. And,
you know,
I think we can say one thing pretty assuredly, I think this championship goes to the last race.
Yeah.
And I think as
so.
fans, that's the only thing we can ask for, because this will be the second championship in 5 years, second championship battle in 5 years, and we don't really get these that many times. So when you do, just appreciate it. And if it actually ends up happening, this is going to be one of the greatest comebacks in F1 history, and also one of the greatest bottle jobs since 2007. Because you shouldn't be. That's
And can I just say as well, honestly, even if, like I said, it blows up, right? And it's like the Honda engine goes bang, or they just don't have the pace after Mexico for some reason, and McLaren get their groove back, and McLaren just win the championship easily from here forward. Even if that happens, can I just say, this is just shown once again, you give Max the car, he's fucking incredible.
Exactly.
Like one of the best, because even what he's done now, 104 points down to 40, that's fucking incredible. So it does go to prove my point, as always. F1 is about the car. I'm sorry, fans, you need to get over it. It just is the case. But Max is just generational, because when you give him that car, fuck me, he doesn't leave a point on the table. It's so impressive. Like, it's so impressive.
Nothing on the table. And
nothing.
Yeah. Probably 7 points in Singapore. So
yeah, but that's only because George is clearly better. But that's,
No. Lando planned and was 6 seconds ahead. Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I think you probably didn't catch it. On Saturday alone, Charles kind of came on the radio.
Yeah, because Max did the same thing to Charles, right? And Charles complained about it.
Like, if he wants to sit and complain about Lando, he needs to stop doing that.
Charles as well,
doing these kind of things.
Charles as well, once again showing he's top driver, because he's always watching these things. Even during the race, he'd like literally just
was he doing that?
Track limits, just incredible. These drivers are amazing. Well, some of these drivers are amazing. Yeah,
and then there's Lance Stroll, just just an absolute. What was it? The crash with the Esteban Ocon. Mm-hmm. He didn't even try to brake. He just T-boned him for no fucking reason. Yeah. Anyway. By the way, if this does happen, if Max wins? Just the scenario. If Max wins, how does McLaren, Lando, and Oscar they bounce back?
I see. This is the thing.
Blow.
If Max wins this, it's Oscar I'd be more concerned about, because I think Lando will kind of go, well, I threw that away at the start. I think he's that type of guy who'll go, I fucked up like early on in the championship and I gave Oscar too much, and I made it a 2-person championship, which let Max back in. I think Max will see, or Lando will just blame himself and go, let me try again next year. And fair play to him. Whatever. You may not like that about him, but I like that. He'll just blame himself and try again. I don't know if Oscar will. I think Oscar will start losing confidence, because it's just been so bizarre how he's reacted to this over the last few races. Yeah. It's been really unexpected for me. I thought he'd be the guy that'd be just like, yeah, whatever, let's just move on. But I could see him being the one that would start blaming McLaren next year. Just going, I think you guys fucked me. I'm out of here. I wouldn't be surprised. And then Alex Dunn wins the 2027 championship.
Are you aware of it? He's out of the McLaren.
I know, with Red Bull.
He's not signing. No, he's not. Marco has said he's not going to sign.
Oh.
So Dunn is in no man's land for some reason.
Well, the Colapinto Dunn lineup for 2027 will be good then.
It would be, but what the fuck has he done? Why does he not have a contract in place before he ended?
I don't know. He's also, I haven't really been watching, but he's also kind of fallen off the grid in F2 as well, right?
He's fine.
Really?
Yeah. He's good. In terms of his performances and everything, he's pretty good. It seems that something has not worked on his management side. I don't know who his backers are, because apparently he's from a well-off family as well. So he's not needed the money. But having one of these backers in place, it tends to help you when it comes to securing a seat in Formula One, which is...
Well, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like you said earlier if Oscar leaves and it's George and Lando or something for 2027, I wouldn't be overly surprised by it.
Yeah. I think
Max and Lando.
Oh boy.
Poor Lando. if Max gets signed, I think Lando just needs to leave. Just give up. Just like
Yeah, just retire.
yeah.
Or maybe he'll take up the challenge. I don't know.
If Lando beat Max in the same car, that would be an incredible championship, because you just know how the conversation would go. It'd be very much clearly he was sabotaged.
Yeah.
And we'd go full circle to where Max Verstappen
I'd love to
fans
see
would go.
that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd
so
love
would I.
to see that conversation.
It would be
because-
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's talk about Charles then, by the way.
Yes.
Before we talk about anyone else, because I think this race was probably a bit of a reminder of
How good he is.
fuck how good he is.
Yeah.
Because how did he do that? First of all, your view on the strategy, because I hated it. Just full disclosure, I hated it, the way Ferrari went about the whole thing, because I think they might have even been able to challenge for the win because of the stint that I saw on the mediums from Charles. It was faster than Max.
Yeah.
Much better. But yeah, what's your take on the whole?
I think, yeah, in hindsight, they probably should have just gone medium soft, because I think he probably still would have jumped Lando at the start anyway, and then had the pace to kind of at least give something to Max. But that's in hindsight. Like, in reality, coming into that race, they probably assumed, given how the last 18 years has gone, that they wouldn't be able to challenge even for a podium anyway. So they were probably just gambling that let's just do something different and go for it and see what happens. And you can't really blame... Well, you can blame Ferrari for that, but you shouldn't really blame them for this specific race, because I think it was just a good gamble to take and it just didn't work out. And that's just life in Formula One. But for Charles, like, that stint on the softs at the start, considering how everyone else went on the softs with lower fuel later on and struggled, it was incredible. Like, incredible.
Compare this with Max's defense last season against Lando. What was better in your view?
Well, Leclerc is better than Max. We all know this.
Oh, but yeah, honestly, I mean, after it was, I think, fourth or fifth lap when Lando basically just reached up. He was right behind Leclerc, and I thought, okay, it's maybe a lap or two, and then Leclerc is screwed because the tires were going to go.
Yeah.
That sixth lap turned into 16 laps, 17, 18. What the fuck is going on? How is he still behind? Yeah.
But this is why Leclerc is constantly up there, is like Leclerc is with Max, right? When we just know, like, if Leclerc has the right car, he's challenging for a title and he's giving Max a run. Like, if he's not beating Max, he's at the very least giving Max a proper run for his money. I still think Max
would see a lot of races where he would pretty much have his way.
Yeah. Like, I think Max is probably the better driver. I think, like, to be fair.
Overall, yeah.
But, like, there's not much of a difference in it. This comes back to me just constantly. Like, Max, George, and Leclerc at the minute are just in their own bracket. Like, if they all had title fighting cars, it would just be an epic title every year, because the three of them would just be so close to each other all the time. And I think it would be race by race.
This season compared to how the situation was last year. Because last year, I mean, we've always said this thing. Last year, the bracket involved George, Max, Charles. Then you also had Oscar and Lando in that particular bracket. And
we kept saying Lando in pace. Unfortunately, on a lot of other things, he kept letting himself down.
Yeah. And then you had Alonso and Lewis. But now I think it's quite clear that the top three drivers are these three. And everyone else, they're just a step behind. It's so clear. And again, kudos to all of them.
Alonso's in the top three, though. Let's be honest here.
I mean,
he just has a shit car.
Yeah.
Alonso would beat them all.
Of course. I mean, he says so. And Flavio
well, apart from Max, he seems to think Max is the best driver on the grid, which is hilarious. It is quite funny that Alonso, who is this really self-assured, like, I'm the best in the world driver, is literally sitting there going, Max would beat everyone, though. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's not saying Max would beat everyone. He's saying he's the best of all of us.
Yeah.
Ask him a different question. Do you think he'll beat you in a straight championship? And then you get real Alonso stands up.
I really wish someone would ask him, like, if you guys had the exact same car, do you think you'd beat him? Because I think Alonso, even at 44, would be like, yeah. Like,
100%.
Of course.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Next season
Charles
is going to answer a lot of those
incredible.
questions. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the massive expense in the other car hasn't been delivering.
Lewis, right? Because
who else could I be talking about? In fairness, if Lewis had qualified better.
Yeah. The problem, he started where? He was P4, I think. P4, P5. I think the problem with Lewis, it just came down to, I'm not entirely sure. It's just lift and coast. Because he was right on Lando's...
with the car again for the
seems like it
70th time in 4 years.
Yeah. Seems like it. Because he's right on pace now. I think he's just a couple of tenths off Charles in general. And I think this is where I expected him to be at his best. I don't expect him to beat Charles unless Charles just completely loses interest in driving for
He's
Ferrari.
doing a decent job. It's just an easy thing to poke out right now because it's just,
yeah,
for various reasons.
Yeah, I mean he's fine, but
he did achieve a record though this weekend.
Yeah,
the
not
kind
the
of record
point, by the way. He achieved 2 of them, by the way.
Yeah, no one cares about the 5,000 points. The real record is that he is now the Ferrari driver who's gone the most races without a podium in history.
Until he scores a podium. So that's how it's been phrased. So there are 2 records. The first is the driver with no podium. The driver that has most races without scoring a podium. That's, I think, 15 races. The
Peroni,
second
is
no, that was Capelli, I think. Ivan Capelli.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And the second record is most races until a podium. So that's the Didier Peroni record.
Oh, sorry. Didier Peroni is the one 19 races, and Ivan Capelli
had 18. Yeah.
Yeah, Ivan Capelli is the guy who never got a podium, right?
Yeah. So Peroni had 18 races until he got a podium. Lewis is now at 19. So he's broken that record.
Ooh. 100 million quid well spent this year. John Elkann put that in the bank.
I think the problem is it won't look as bad if Leclerc did not have 7 of them. I think that's where the problem comes in.
Well, that's obviously why, I assume that's why the stock of Ferrari went down as well, right?
Of course. Because the investment has not paid off, apparently.
Yeah. That's all Ferrari's based on.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up, so the battle for... I mean, you can keep shitting on Lewis in fairness, Twitter,
I've shit on
a Lewis hater.
In fairness, I've shit on like 4 drivers doing this. So I'm an equal opportunity prick. It's fine. Yeah.
You take credit for that. I don't even argue on that question.
See, I just bash on people so much that people just stop giving out about me, and then you're more balanced than people complain about you. That's the key. Yeah. If you're just an awful person every weekend, people just go, "That's just a bad guy. We'll just leave him to it. It's fine."
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
See, look, when I have to do the whole disaster management thing, it makes my view, the perception that comes from this podcast and from the perception that comes on Twitter or whichever social media, it's entirely different. Because on Twitter it's like, I hate Max, I hate Lewis, I hate everyone, and here it's like, he's the reasonable one. He's the one who's being very reasonable.
Well, it's because, and also it's because I have something you don't, obviously, which is white privilege. I mean, obviously, this is the.
That's for some other podcast.
Yeah. So, sorry, I forgot. That's for my Pointy Hoods podcast that I apparently do every week.
Oh, Jesus!
According to some of the comments on this podcast.
Coming back to Formula One. By the way, the battle for P2 in the championship. Apparently, Max is going to... It seems that it might not be impossible that Max alone takes Red Bull to P2 in the championship here.
I guess actually, because Antonelli and Hamilton have been doing such a terrible job, it wouldn't be that surprising.
I mean, Kimi keeps getting punted out by people.
Well, that's his fault, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
According to Carlos.
Yeah. So what? Red Bull's on 331, Ferrari's on 334. So yeah, that's going to be done. That's 3 points.
Mercedes is at
341. So yeah, it should be easily done.
Either one, yeah.
Especially because Tsunoda's so good, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Tsunoda was P7, right? This time around.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Tsunoda's... I think they are going to announce after Mexico. That's what they've been saying.
Arvid Lindblad is in one of the seats and Tsunoda's gone or whatever.
Yeah, and
so,
Isaac Hadjar gets the promotion. If that happens, by the way, the demotion, yeah. What are they going to do next season if the status quo remains the same?
What are they going to do next year if the Racing Bull's faster than the Red Bull? That's the real question. Like, what is he going to do in that situation?
What you gonna do?
If it turns out Jody Eglinton's actually way better than Vache, as people keep telling me.
Oh yeah. There's someone who wanted Jody Eglinton to replace.
Those people are very fucking quiet now, aren't they?
Schumacher, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was him.
And a lot of Max fans who assumed that the Racing Bull was better and whatnot. So,
I mean,
those people are very fucking quiet now. Do you notice that? Like all of a sudden, yeah.
They will be quiet next season as well. They'll go after Maguires if things don't turn out.
That's what's it's. These narratives are always so obvious.
2 race old.
Yeah, but yeah. So I guess it'll be Isaac moves over. The Tsunoda's just gone then, right? Like, I guess, why would they keep him? Because Honda's gone.
Left. Yeah.
And Honda was paying essentially some money to keep him around. So
I think there's maybe an opportunity for Toyota to take over Yuki. And look, there's going to be a point when Ollie Behrman gets promoted to Ferrari because he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Now recently he's kicking Ocon's ass, and you're slowly getting to a point. Sure. Because now you've reached a point where he's starting to put together a Leclerc season.
It's just because Ocon and Gasly are French mid drivers, so obviously they're gonna look at how quickly Colapinto was this useless driver 6 races ago, and now he's consistently beating Gasly everywhere, which we obviously need to talk about.
Alpine wasn't happy apparently. They put out a statement and everything. You need to respect and whatever. Fuck it. And Flavio would have been the first one who scoffed at the whole thing.
Did you see Flavio took a photo with him and said Flavio loves that kind of shit.
Of course. He's old school.
Yeah.
And anyways. Cool. I think most of the stuff is covered. Midfield, not much happened, by the way.
Do we think Colapinto will get 2026? I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
Genuinely.
There's no reason not to.
Why would you put someone else in there now?
Yeah.
Because he's the benchmark is Gasly, who's your big driver, and he's now consistently.
In the last 6 races, it's 4-2 in qualifying. So that is, look, if even that is not enough, then just hire Max Verstappen then, because we are reaching a point where
Alpine. If that's not good enough, Alpine's not getting anyone better.
Yeah,
because Alpine's so shit right now. No one's going to take that risk. So,
well, they're probably going to be fighting for podiums if the Mercedes is good. Mercedes power
maybe,
is good.
yeah, maybe.
Right,
but
next
it depends. Yeah. So, but I think. This is the kind of Colapinto I expected, though. I did joke at the start, and I kind of really meant it, where I was like, give it a few races and he'll be beating Gasly. And I got laughed at, but I was like, I think he's a better driver. I think he has more potential. Yeah, so.
No, I don't disagree. By the way, the latest Horner news, apparently he's got backers which are basically willing to invest close to a couple of billion.
It's Saudi time.
No, it's not. It's Chinese apparently.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Oh, so China and Horner. That's going to make my book even better. I get that no one in the listening to the podcast gets that, but it'll become obvious at some point next year.
At some point, yeah. when they jump onto this pod for some reason. Yeah. If you're from 1 year later, hi.
Yeah. Or if you're a Chinese backer who's looking for investment in Western media, we're right here. We'll take cash.
Any cash.
Anything. I'll do state-sponsored Xi Jinping ad reads on this all fucking day.
Yeah.
All you have to do is pay for us to be in a VIP section of every race of the year. That's all I want.
Yeah, and some money for the pot.
No.
Just throw in some money.
Just the tickets. I'm good.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's it.
I'll run a Uyghur concentration camp for that. Sorry, what were you saying?
Shush. Cut that one out. Why are you ruining that prospect for possibly getting Chinese money?
I'm not. They hate the Uyghur. Anyway, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You misheard me.
No.
What I said was way worse. Right. What I said was way worse than what you seem to insinuate.
Okay. I heard the last bit. Anyways, so Horner, where do you think he actually ends up?
Alpine.
I don't think so. I think he's had I think he's had conversations with them, and apparently he's not
He'll come
willing
back
to
and
join
buy
the
the team out.
Yeah.
I think like the thing is, like if we go through them one by one, the simple fact is, I think Haas, the problem was that I don't think Gene was willing to give him. You know, I do think that could change because, like, I think the key thing will be depends on when he goes. Because if he waits until like after the first 3 races next year, I think this opinion could completely change. Because there's going to be some teams that are going to really shit the bed, and all of a sudden the Horner prospect might seem like right now they're like, no, we're not looking for it. You know, he might buy Red Bull next year. They could be that bad. Who knows? But like, I think, for example, like Haas is a no go because of that. Alpine, I think, is open. Ferrari. It's been speculated. I just don't see it. I don't see them.
I just don't see it happening.
Aston Martin, I think, unless, again, at the moment, I think it's a no-go unless they if they shit the bed for the first 3 races, I could very much see a situation where Horner looks like a good prospect, especially if they can keep Newey and bring Horner in. It's like the dream team. You know, I could see them. That's an Aston Martin play right there. If they kick off the season really well, why would they change it? Like, there's no reason. So I think they're holding out for that, and they'll see where it goes. Racing Bulls, I mean,
They're trying to buy it.
It's unlikely.
Investor trying to buy it.
Yeah. Audi, I don't, again, unless they shit the bed, right now, not a situation I see happening.
No.
Williams, same thing. Like, why would they?
No chance.
Vels is putting them in the right direction. Mercedes would be the funniest option, but it's not going to happen. So,
there's nothing left here.
There's Cadillac, I guess. Not really, though.
They said no.
I think the other thing is, if he was to go for Cadillac, I don't see why he wouldn't try and push for his own team. So that's the other option.
Comes down to if FOM and FIA are willing to have him on,
which makes that dinner that he had with Zach and Thing more interesting, right? To get a feel for no, just Thing will do. We don't need to call him by any names. MBS is a good one though, given ties him to another MBS. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you know what's going to happen. We're going to see his name attached to a lot of teams, and probably by December, by the end of the season, the last race or something, we're going to find out where he's going. He's going to join in April, whichever team it is. He's going to join in April. So he has the money in place already, but where he goes is going to be.
Do you think we'll hear this year though? Because I'm thinking more and more. I'm in 2 minds because I would not surprise me if we don't hear until after the first couple of races, where he's like making sure he's made the right decision, because he'll be able to get a much better deal with whoever. But then there's the flip side to that as well, right? Which is if he's got a really good deal with a top team or figured out a way to get in to one of the better teams, if they perform really well in the first 3 races, that fucks up his. So there is, I guess, there's the 2 sides to it, isn't there?
Both.
Like,
of course.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's going to be different. It's going to be quite different, honestly, because I think he's going to be back. He's got the money apparently as well, so that's there. Where he ends up, I think it's open for discussion for now. We have no clue. Let's jump into the questions now.
Mm-hmm. Or Mexico or questions first?
First questions.
Okay.
Questions. Yeah. Okay, by the way, thanks guys. 11 questions apparently. And I put it out 6 hours back. Nice. Let's start with Vince, first of all. I see all the pundits say to McLaren they should pick a number 1 driver. What do you think about that? Should Lando have dropped back from P to to right behind Oscar to give him a few more points?
What was I don't get the question. What was the question?
His question is
because
a lot of
Oscar should have dropped back or Lando should have dropped back to give Oscar more points, basically.
He's arguing that McLaren needs to implement a driver 1, driver 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Think it happens?
No, and at the moment, on the basis of momentum, if you were going to do that, you'd give it to Lando anyway.
That's the problem.
So, you know, like, I mean,
14 points behind. 14 points to
14 points is nothing, you know, like, and he's still ahead of Max. So,
when do you think they
will implement?
Never, right?
They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They'd rather lose the Drivers' Championship to put that in. McLaren is the odd one out in that they don't seem to give a shit about the Drivers' Championship. It's kind of like if it comes, it comes, you know.
I think at this stage, what McLaren has done, what they probably would say is, look, guys, we've given you everything. We will support you in every way possible still, but if you're not going to win the championship from this with this car, with this package, and with this support, it's down to you. We can't do anything more than that.
It's probably a good play as well to get like a top tier guy later on too.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you're a Leclerc or a George and you're thinking about McLaren for 2027, like if that is an option, you're probably going to prefer that because you're probably in your head going, well, I'll beat whoever's in the other seat. So if they're going to play fair and not give Lando preference, brilliant. Like no matter how it goes, I won't be treated as a number 2, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
It could be beneficial to McLaren to just go, no matter what, that's the party line. That's what we're keeping.
Yeah.
You know?
And also because this is the real test for both Lando and Oscar. It's a competitive car. You have the championship lead. If you cannot defend it, it's on you. And it's entirely on you. And their stock is going to fall to such a level if they don't win the championship this season. It's unimaginable.
Yeah. Well, this is where I could see Oscar leaving though, because like I said earlier, it's like, I think Lando is all in on like, well, the team gave me the car and I didn't win it and like whatever. I could see Oscar being like, why didn't you keep developing? Like, why didn't you give us everything? Why didn't you back this? You know, like you lost me the championship. I could see that attitude starting to form, you know.
Depends on how Mark views it, right? Mark Webber, because he's the mentor there.
Yeah. And how 2026 goes as well.
And also, I mean, he knows what it means to lose a championship after having a significant championship lead.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, Luke Wilson. So, in your opinion, are there not a safe way to do refueling to make races slightly more entertaining?
Yeah, like it could be done. I don't actually think there's safety wise. There's not really a huge issue anymore because it's not like before. They could properly like have situations where things could bolt on pretty reasonably safely and stuff. I just think like one of the things that people love about F1, especially like more casual fans that I watch with a lot of the times, they're always in awe of how quick the pit stops are. And F1 goes on about how quick the pit stops are and stuff. And I think to go back to like a 10-second NASCAR style pit stop, I think is something that FOM wouldn't want. You know, I just think and also it doesn't fit with sustainability either, right? So
also another thing, 50 kg fuel is what you have for the entire race. How many stops are you going to make anyways?
Yeah.
Right. So you're not going to have 10 liter fuel tanks.
No.
You will have a 20. What we have a 100-liter fuel tank right now.
I think what could be fun about it would be you would get teams like Red Bull who have always taken risks, or at least since Mekias took over. I think I could see them in a situation where they have a difficult car going, okay, everyone else is starting on 80k to get to the end. Let's start on 10 and fucking blast them for a few laps, you know? I do think, like, to Luke's point, it would be interesting. It could be done. I just think from FOM's point of view, it's more headache and more hassle, and it takes away from the display of those 2-second tire changes and stuff. I don't see them. There's no benefit to them, you know?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's fair. I'm personally not a fan of the whole pit stops with fuel making the races interesting, because I don't think they do.
We could argue that as well. Like watching it back in the day, did it add that much?
Nothing.
The occasional fire, which was fun to watch.
Yeah, if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It did add some. It did, like at certain races, yes, it did. I just think it's just like the tires. It just if everyone
you need to make racing better. That's
everyone
the
just ends
point.
up on the same thing. That's the problem. Like if the cars are shit to race, no amount of strategy is going to fix that anyway. So
yeah,
you know
that's the problem. Okay, next question from Luke only. Do you think adding sprint races to every race weekend, but only allowing F2, F3 drivers to race in cars for constructor points is a good idea? No. But we have to understand.
Oh, great idea. If If we did sprints and the sprints were F2 drivers every week, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but people are not going to watch. What's
No,
the
they
star
wouldn't.
attraction?
I've got a better idea, a much better idea. You take F2 cars, right?
That's the better idea.
The teams don't run them. Well, the teams do run them, whatever, but you basically one F2 car that every team is just given the car in the same spec. They can change setups and whatnot as they do. And the F1 drivers have to drive those for the constructors' points. So there's a spec series. So we get our F1 for me is like constructors. I like that it's about the cars, about the tech. I don't want F1 to be a spec series.
Yeah.
But if we had a sprint race where we got to see them all driving in a sprint in spec cars, that would be cool to see. Like, okay, how close is George to Max in the same car? And that would be
why
great.
they won't do that, by the way? Because that would be a bigger spectacle than the
probably
Grand Prix.
People would watch that over the yeah.
Because lesser dirty air, more action, more
And because a lot of
parity.
people prefer watching drivers to cars. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, I'm a weirdo. Like, I enjoy watching the cars more than the drivers.
I mean, yeah.
Replace the drivers with AI, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
I mean, they tried to do that, but Daniel Kvyat beat that AI operation. So
yeah, but that AI is a lot better now.
yeah, that's true. Okay, next is Flaky. What the fuck is McLaren? Good question. Well, they are the constructors champions. That's what
They're the best team at the moment at building a car. We would say them and Red Bull, which is going to make it interesting next year because I just don't think Red Bull is going to have the engine to compete, and McLaren will have the engine to compete by the looks of it. So it's, the rest of the season is going to be amazing, but next year as well is going to be interesting because I think it's the driver market next year is going to be on fire. It's going to be real interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so next one. How significantly do you think McLaren was impacted by the limited data from the sprint race? Not much. The car was fine. The problem was not with the car as such. It was just a slower package than Red Bull overall.
They were limited by Lando Norris and Oscar. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
They just need to. They should just buy them both out of their contracts, right, for 2026, and they should buy out Leclerc and George and put those two drivers in the car.
Yeah.
And
then just sit back and watch everything.
And then Max would win the championship because Leclerc and George would just take points off each other each weekend until Max
wins. As I said, watch everything burn.
Yeah.
Next up. So, yeah, I can't pronounce his name. I mean, I've asked him how we should try to pronounce it. Okay, so the question is, the reason Oscar was struggling compared to Lando is because Lando was picking up throttle so much earlier, many times, at least 3 car lengths earlier in critical zones. That's a lot of analysis. Everything else they did was similar, like brake application. How do you view this certain decrease in performance? This hasn't happened in any 2025 race. No clue, because the setups were similar. So what he's saying is that Oscar was struggling to pick up the throttle compared to Lando, and the gap was sometimes as big as
in the
3
traction
car lengths.
zones, basically.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. If true, then like I haven't looked into it, but if true, then it would definitely say that like the car has maybe the car's got trickier to drive with some of the upgrades or whatever they had earlier in the season, and that's what's causing Oscar problems. Because like Lando had the same issue at the start of the season, right, where the car wasn't to his liking, and everyone just it's just because Lando's shit. It's like, well, it does seem to be the car as well suits Oscar better.
Yeah, but
maybe
he
it's
just
the opposite.
won 4 races back in Zandvoort. It's not like they've brought anything new.
It's just McLaren sabotaging him, obviously.
Some issues with the setup. The thing is, he just fell out of the sweet spot, and it takes time to get back to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year, Oscar's high performance fell off in the last 7 races of the season. Now, yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that. Is this a reason why he has been underperforming lately? These tracks are his weakest, or is it really just pressure? I think he's just slow for some reason. He wasn't this slow in general because he won Baku last year. He tends to be decent in Qatar. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely. I don't think it's the tracks he's not good at, because even early in the season, there were a lot of tracks where Lando blew him away last season, but he ended up winning the races this time around.
I mean, Zandvoort a few races ago, right? I know. Norris blew up, but Oscar was still ahead anyway. You know, so
I think it's a 4-race sample space in front of us. I think let's give him time. I think the last 5 races are going to tell us everything about Oscar.
Right now, at this very moment, it looks like Red Bull picked up the pace and Oscar's pressure is piled on. And I think Lando's in the perfect position where he probably thought to himself, right, well, I'm not the favourite. I'm just going to go out and do what I can. And it'll be interesting to see actually if Lando does jump back, because there's a good chance Lando jumps into the title lead before Max does, because Max is coming from further back. If Oscar has another couple of bad races, it'd be really funny to see if Lando completely goes into, oh shit, I'm winning a title mode again, and just completely shits the bed. Like, it would not surprise me.
What is your dream driver lineup based on the current F1 grid? If you have had to choose a lineup with no second driver, what duo would you choose to be the most successful? What's yours?
So we answering just the first part or the second part?
The basically what he's saying is no second driver. You have to pick your dream driver lineup from the current grid. You have 20 drivers.
But what do you mean no second driver?
As in, you don't want a driver 1, driver 2 dynamics.
Oh,
you want the two best drivers in
Leclerc, George. The reason being is
Leclerc,
that if
Max.
I would say Leclerc, Max. The problem with that is I think you're going to have to give one of those favoritism at one point, because Max is just going to, I think Leclerc and George, if you were actually trying to run like a proper team, Leclerc and George would actually work with the team, I think. So,
I mean, just put Lewis and Alonso in a McLaren and watch them burn again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already orange. So let's
ideally, look, the ideal one here is obviously George and Colapinto.
Oh, yeah.
Because then Colapinto would become the number 1 driver over time.
Of course. Within the first 2 races.
Maybe 4. Let's not be too harsh.
Yeah. Okay, next bit. Charles had 2/10 over Lewis in this race. Yeah, roughly. Would you consider this a good race? Yeah. Lewis said that he's so much more comfortable in the car now and that he wants to end the year with a podium. Would this be possible? Honest, please. He's saying, honest, please. Be careful. I want both sides of Ferrari to come out on a high note for 2026. Yeah.
If he can qualify better.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, jokes aside, I think Lewis is close enough. The problem is that 2/10 right now in this generation is a fucking wide margin, because, like, there's been points throughout this season so far where Tsunoda, who's been doing a bad job, has been like 2 to 3 tenths off of Max, and he's been out in Q2 or Q1. Like 2 tenths is just a huge margin right now. So like a 2/10 difference between Leclerc and Hamilton at most of the races could be the difference between getting on the first row and being 6th or 7th, in which case a podium's just too difficult. So the answer is, like, I think he's doing a really good job. The problem is it depends where Ferrari is. And at the moment,
it depends on the car, more or less.
Yeah.
Right? Because in Austin as well, how the weekend started, they were 4th fastest, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Lewis had the edge on Charles in the sprint. I think it comes down to the car. If there is a weekend where, by the way, Mexico might be one of the best chances for Lewis, because Leclerc, it's not a Leclerc track per se, and Lewis tends to be good around this track. He has a couple of wins, and I think he has a pole position as well.
Yeah.
So maybe in Mexico as well, he might get a podium. There's a possibility of that. But yeah, it depends entirely on the car.
Yeah. I think he's doing a good enough job. There's just...
He's there now.
It's just 2/10
he should have been earlier.
2/10 is just a lot, though, in this season.
Current era, yeah.
It's like literally, it's like there's been races this season where 4/10 has been the difference between 1st and 20th. Like, that's how close it is.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem. Okay, so Nani Simgala, if you humor me once again, wearing my tinfoil hat. Okay, does F1 itself want a Max to Ferrari or Mercedes switch? As I think they want Max out of Red Bull for marketing and brand. I mean, it would be amazing for business, as Lewis is, well, not the best anymore. And if Max wins this and brings fuckloads of attention to the sport even more, I could see Stefano having some emails to type out. Okay.
I don't think it's like they want... Right? Yeah, like I don't think it's just they want Max specifically to those. I think just Max leaving Red Bull and going to another team, full stop, no matter which team it is, it's just a huge story. So it's good for FOM if he leaves Red Bull because it becomes a big story then. Like, how will he do at the next team? It's like Hamilton to Ferrari, where people are like, oh, well, Hamilton, how is he going to do at Ferrari? And all the normal fans who have been watching for years are like, shit, like it's going to be terrible. But for F1, it was something to talk about for a year. So they love it. You know, I think it's a business at the end of the day. So, of course, they want movement. They want things spiced up, you know? Like 2023 is not a good year for Formula One because it's just the same guy winning over and over again. So it's too hard to sell.
It doesn't do anything. There's no narratives. There's nothing to talk about and stuff.
So they just want narratives, full stop.
Yeah. It's, look, if FOM wants to, you know, wave its magic wand and put Max somewhere, I think they would want to put him at Ferrari. I don't think they'd want to put him at Mercedes because Mercedes can be a bit metronomic. It's not your best marketing paradise. Lewis kind of took the team and kept them afloat when it came to that. I don't see it happening though. I don't think Max goes to Ferrari anytime soon. He's not of the same, you can say, a Schumacher mindset where he wants to build a team around him.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
I think it's Mercedes, isn't it? Like,
if he leaves, he goes to Mercedes. Yes. I'm still at if he leaves because he seems happier right now, and if he does end up winning the championship this season, he might have a bit more grace for the team. You never know. Okay, next one is Sri Lakshmi. I don't understand why is the McLaren that seemed so invincible in the beginning just seems to be on the same level as others? Jason?
I genuinely think they may have dropped off a little bit, you know, like I do think it's probably more that Red Bull has caught up, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, like we said about Red Bull last year, they're forced into a situation now where they've got a narrower window to operate in, which makes the car trickier. Because if you look at the onboards, even like both Norris and Oscar were sawing at the steering wheel a lot more than even normal for them, and Max was kind of almost gliding around corners, whereas normally he's the one sawing around. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's almost like reverse, where Red Bull have kept developing, they've figured the car out, and now McLaren's in this tricky situation where they're trying to come up with like random setups and drive against the car and stuff. And this happens. The thing is, like I said earlier in the podcast, everyone acted as if McLaren had this like massive, it wasn't like a hugely dominant 2023 car. Yeah, like it was a small margin by Formula One standards. It was just consistent. It was just consistently, they were always that margin ahead. So I don't know. I do think it's dropped off, but I don't think it's as, you know, I don't think it's as a huge a shock as we maybe should think it is.
Okay, so let's try to break it down a bit. So when the season began, one area where McLaren had the advantage over everyone else was tires. How they were able to keep the rear tire in the window. That is, and that helped them with the.
So do you think Mekies has put water into the tires now that Horner's gone?
Yes, he has figured the trick out. So that was one of the areas. The second area was McLaren as such is a well-rounded car, but the key speciality or the key area where it tends to pull away, it's in the medium to fast speed sections and long corners. What Red Bull essentially has done is its main problem was it was eating its tires. Its peak pace was good, and that's why Max had a lot of these pole positions. However, what has happened is with the upgrades in the pretty much since the beginning of the season, they slowly figured out how they can get their tires to last longer. And the latest upgrade with the upgraded floor, they found the balance so that the slow speed sections where they used to struggle, they don't struggle anymore.
Yeah.
That has helped them close the gap significantly. And that's why where we are. Mm-hmm. Even though right now I'd say McLaren still has some edge on the race pace front. Overall, though, in terms of the package, Red Bull is ahead now. So that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is from Chihiro. Hey, what's up, guys? Why aren't you talking about Calais? By the way, I think you might have heard of it. Calais Rovanpera. He's the two-time WRC champion. He's basically a Finnish phenom.
Oh, this guy that they're talking about trying to get to F1, right? With Toyota.
So he's in rallying. He's pretty much done his entire life. He's been doing that. He's 26 years of age, and he will be in Super Formula next season. He's moving there. It's basically a case similar to a bit of Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi got burned out in Formula One. He got burned out in WRC. So he's trying something different, moving to circuit racing. So he'll be doing his first season with Super Formula next year. And the year after, he'll be in F2.
Okay. Yeah.
And the entire thing is being backed by both Toyota and Red Bull.
Yeah.
So if in Formula 2 in 2028, he does well, as in gets the super license and everything, then he'll probably move to Formula 1. Probably with Racing Bulls.
So the simple answer to this question is we'll talk about it in 2027 or 2028.
The point is what Chihiro has actually said a lot of things about. I mean, he's a fan, it seems. And yeah, he's brilliant. Rowan Perez is brilliant. And he's a bit of a talent that a lot of people are talking about as well.
Yeah.
How he does, I think next season, how he does in Super Formula is going to tell us a lot. Because if the talent is there, we almost saw Liam Lawson win the championship there. So if the talent is there and it shines, we might have a new contender. And he's someone who, if he can replicate what he's done in WRC, we have a real talent in front of us. But let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see.
Next one again from Nani.
How many questions do we have? I thought you said 6.
10.
Oh,
10.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Nani Simgala. Is Horner also not being signed because of Max being on the market?
No.
I think he's right.
No.
Ferrari.
Sure.
Ferrari is one team.
Maybe. But he doesn't want to go to Ferrari anyway, I don't think.
I mean, they can hope. They can still hope, right?
No, I just mean Horner, I don't think wants to go to Ferrari.
I mean, I think Horner used Ferrari to increase the price or just decrease the price or whatever it is in terms of gaining some kind of leverage for whichever other party he was negotiating with.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing was when it came to him talking with Ferrari and just putting it out in the media.
Yeah. So, and I think teams know as well, like genuinely, the team principle is more important than the driver. I'm sorry, Formula One fans, but
do you think Ferrari knows?
No. Ferrari's the exception that proves the rule. Yeah,
exactly. Look how many titles they have in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, so, loads.
Yeah. Dane Lua. Okay, so question is, why do you guys not want Horner at Cadillac? I mean, I can understand Aston, Ferrari, and in some people's opinion Alpine, but why are people not saying Cadillac? So the reason
it's
Cadillac
not that I don't want them there.
Cadillac
I just don't think it.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want them there. It's just I don't think it's gonna. There's just a variety of reasons I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't think he's gonna get the stake there either. And I just think it's. Yeah, I just think there's better options for him, and also Cadillac have said no. But
I think. I think the Cadillac thing could have worked pretty much like the Toto Mercedes thing did, because the framework and the blueprint is there. But I think Cadillac was quite blunt when they said no. So it seems they're going ahead with Graham Loudon.
I think Cadillac will be blunt unless, again, if Horner does wait until the first few races of next year, a lot of this will change. Because if Cadillac are like 4 seconds off the back, they may start going.
Which they would be.
Yes, they may start going, you know what, maybe we do need a Horner, We'll see.
True.
For right now, no, though.
Yeah. Next up, since most people don't like sprint races, if the FIA legitimately removes sprint races and replaces it with reverse grids, how would you make reverse grids in F1 good for F1 fans to watch them? They are good enough because the slower cars are ahead and the faster cars are behind, so you'll see a lot of overtaking. But it's not merit-based racing, so I'm not entirely a fan of it.
Yeah, I think it's fine for junior series to help drivers get used to racing through the pack and that kind of thing. But I think for F1, it's more, we don't want to fix the actual cars, so we're just going to try and make some more gimmicks. Fix the fucking cars, If you've got a problem, fix your fucking car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Third one. If the FIA wants elimination races in F1, how would you make them good for people to watch?
You wouldn't.
You have to understand one thing. Elimination races mean lesser stars in the consequent races. You want as many stars so that you get as many eyeballs and make as much money. And that's why they put all these wives and girlfriends for the same reason.
The race format is fine. Like the cars are the problem. Like just fix the cars, make the cars race. That's all we need to. If all they had to do was just to take the learning from this generation and go, you know what, fuck the manufacturers. For 2026, we're just going to focus all of this learning into making cars that can really follow each other and don't break backs. Like if they just had done those two things, everything would be fine. But instead, instead they decided to go, well, we need to make all these manufacturers who could fuck off at any point happy, and who cares about the racing? We can throw in reverse grids. That's not the solution. So anyway.
Precisely. Yeah. So anyways, the questions are done. Let's just go through the Mexico Grand Prix. Your home race, by the way.
Bienvenido a México todos. Tiempo por el Mexican Gran Premio. ¿Quién es listo?
Cheers. Yeah. So who do you what's your expectation of the
Checo Perez primero?
He'll be there. He'll be there for sure.
Colapinto, obviously. Pato Award, right?
He will also be there.
Yeah.
So top 3 predictions in terms of the pecking order first. How do you think the top 4 kind of sets it up?
I really, this shouldn't be a Red Bull track, but I think they fixed the car. I think Red Bull will be the quickest. I think it's going to be Red Bull. It should be McLaren, shouldn't it? But I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to say, no, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I'm going to say Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes. Which is ridiculous. And will not come true.
You started with Ferrari. That's why it took me a minute to absorb that. I don't think Ferrari is going to be at the top. I'm not
Neither
sure.
Neither do I. But...
Okay, let me put it this way. If somehow Max Verstappen is on pole position on Saturday, I think just call off the championship. It's done. If somehow he's at the top, because that means that there's no track. Because this track, when it comes to the characteristics, one of the bigger problems that Max should face is the third sector, where there are slow speed sections and very aggressive curbs. And these are 2 things where Red Bull has struggled. As I said, if despite that, Max is able to put the car on pole, done. Championship's over.
Yeah.
Finish.
Which would not surprise me.
Talk about it.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the pecking order which I expect is McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari is a toss-up, and then Mercedes. Ideally, that's what I expect. But stranger things have happened when it comes to F1 this season.
Yeah. Realistically, if I was actually pragmatically talking about it instead of just talking shit, I think it will be Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Yeah.
That would be my best guess. So top 3.
Oh, before you do that, just to let you know and let the guys know as well, the tire configuration this time around as well. So Pirelli is following the same model it followed in Austin. So great job. I mean, once was not enough. But again, these allocations are made pretty much a long time back. So, yeah.
So, top 3. Oh, to make it not an easy walkover for Max, I hope it's Lando, Oscar, Max. Just because that way it'll make it that,
competitive.
It'll make it that it's a 4-race sprint. Because you're right. Like, if Max wins here... If Max wins here, it's over. Like, it's done.
I don't think it'll go to the last race either, in that case.
No, that's why I want it to be...
Yeah.
Like, Lando gets some points off Oscar... Max isn't too far behind. Or maybe Lando, Max, Oscar is a better way to do it.
Yeah. It's funny because right now the situation where we're in, we actually need a strong Oscar to actually come back.
An interesting title fight,
Yeah.
Or, it'll be Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell, and all 3 of the title challengers will just DNF and...
Yeah, sure. I mean, that won't happen because it's Mexico. And Mexico, the last time Mexico produced a strong race was never.
I believe it was 1967, something like that.
Probably. Yeah. Something, maybe around that
which was
time.
which was on a different track as well. So.
No stadium section. Yeah. Okay, so top three is, your top three is?
I'm going to go Lando, Max, Oscar, just to spice up the championship. But
for me, the biggest worry is the first lap and the start, because even if even if McLaren has a strong car and you have Lando starting on pole position, we've seen so many races where the pole position is probably the worst place to start this race.
Yeah, so, you want to start third here, ideally.
Yeah, I think Max takes pole. I think Max wins. Lando second, Oscar third.
Okay.
Which would be probably a good result for Oscar, considering it won't... Actually, no, 10 points gone. Yeah. He's screwed. Yeah. He is screwed.
Yeah. This is hilarious, isn't it? Because, like, if this was any other driver but Max, you'd be saying to yourself, well, even with the fastest car, it's still... He's going to have to be perfect every weekend. But with Max, you're like, he's got the fastest car. He's going to be perfect every weekend. So, yeah. This is over. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then in 2 races' time, we'll be like, Max was never coming back from that. Like, when something goes wrong. Yeah. All right.
This one is going to the last race of the season.
I hope so. I hope
that's
so.
the only thing I can actually make a prediction on. So, yeah.
So we don't think George has any chance of winning the title?
No, he's mathematically out of it.
No, he's not. Not yet.
He is.
No, he's not.
No, sorry. You're right. Only Leclerc is out of it, right?
Yeah. George only needs...
to win every race.
George is only 96 points off. I mean, it's still...
That's not much. Even Max is coming out from 104.
Max came back in 4 races from 104. So, I mean, he could do this.
It's possible.
Like, if McLaren and Red Bull just DNF in 3 or 4 races...
Yes. Not much of a Haas.
And Mercedes, right? And Mercedes fixed their fucking car. Yeah, anyway. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Hope you have a good Mexican Grand Prix.
Yeah.
See you afterwards.
Bye, everybody. Adios.